let's talk about Bronny James. Let's talk about what's going on here. I definitely want to hear from you too, Danny G, because you're the resident Lakers fan. But we already heard he's going to the G-League and that he's only traveling here and there.
Well, no. Here's the. Let me give you the lowdown.
Yeah.
Bronny James won't play in G-League road games at all. And his Lakers experience is already getting weird, according to SB Nation. Bronny's G-League assignment is coming with what they're saying is undeserved star treatment. He's getting like Roger Clemens don't have to travel with the team when he's 40 treatment.
Which rubs my butt the wrong way, and I'm not even on the team, right? So when I hear things like that, I'm like, well, why would he even accept that sort of treatment if he wants to be accepted as your favorite 80s movie, Just One of the Guys?
Well, you know what? Let's hear Brian Windhurst talk about this. He had thoughts. Take a listen.
I'm going to apply the brakes on my everything's fine on the Bronny front with this thing that's now happening, which is that from my understanding, he's only going to play in the Southbay Lakers home games, that he's only going to kind of be a part-time G-League player. And he's not getting on United Airlines and going to fly and go see these other teams, these playing these road games now. Because honestly, like, I know he was getting somewhat special treatment and nepotism. That's fine. Honestly, I don't care. Like I said, it's normal. Now I think it's actually detrimental to him. I don't like that. I don't know whose idea it was. Obviously, the Lakers are fine with it. They're doing it. I've now, on this particular instance, I think that's gone too far. And I don't think that benefits Bronny. I don't think it benefits the Southbay Lakers. And I don't think it benefits LeBron at that point.
Could there be anybody under the moon that doesn't agree with that? You know, you already have this moniker of Nepo baby, but then you lean into it with special treatment. I find it odd that Bronny would even, like I said, accept that sort of thing, to not want to travel commercial or take flights with his teammates. I understand like he could do something different, but to actually have these demands is odd to me, and I think it's just going to rub the league the wrong way. And he's going to be even more of a target as a result, making it harder for him to develop because everybody's going to want to beat this guy if they haven't already.
I get it. Everyone has their own blueprint to success. Some people grind in the minor leagues for 10 years before they get their shot. Some people get called up when they're 18 and boom, there you have it.
No doubt.
Some guys are first rounders. Some guys are on practice squads for years, and then they finally find their way to the league for 4 or 5 years and hope to get their pension, right? Everyone's got a different path. But when you're not flying commercial, when you're not hanging with the team, when there's a layer of, it's LeBron's kid. He's too good. He's not. We think he's going to sit in row 27F on this commercial Continental Airlines, United Airlines flight.
Dude, I think he just went back in time. You know what? I'll give you this.
Continental Airlines, great, Scott.
Take it to
TWA.
Anytime you see someone getting special treatment, it's going to bother somebody, right? Again, everybody has their own path, like you said, so we get that. But take it back to the weakest, meaningless levels of your life. If you ever played sports as a kid, did you ever play sports on a team, soccer, football, whatever it was, and then there was one kid that only showed up to the games, and it was because he was in some travel league and he was really good and he didn't practice with the rest of the team? I remember that when I was a kid. And when I was a little kid, I'm like, F this kid. He thinks he's better than me. He's never at practice. He doesn't come to practice. He only comes to these games once in a while because he's so good. He wasn't that good to be getting that treatment, and that was from a little kid's perspective. Do you imagine how these dudes who want that opportunity feel when this dude doesn't want to travel with them? I'm not saying that he's not special. I'm not saying, because he is LeBron's kid. That's the truth, and they're not. But he has to be conscious of the fact that he's rubbing people the wrong way.
You made a great point. Covino.
Which one? I'm trying to make it relatable, but I actually did have that one kid. And I remember going to the coach, and my parents like, how come he doesn't have to practice?
No,
They're
dude,
like, well,
listen.
He's a special boy. I'm like, what? And I'm not? Get out of here with this guy.
I mean, are you a special? He's a special boy. Listen.
They're like, you are, Steven, just in a different way. And I was like, what? I hate this team.
every adult, listen, everyone's got their own path. But what you described, I love your example because even for adults that play rec league sports, I know you hate my softball analogies, but there are guys
they're
that are
relatable, though.
But there are guys that are good athletes that they'll show up once in a while and they're like, oh, he's batting third, playing shortstop, and it's like, hey, we're all a bunch of grown men. This guy shows up when he wants?
Yeah, and everyone's kissing his ass. I don't like that.
It's almost a little eye-rolly.
And I think Bronny's way too young. If I were him, and I'm not, but if I was, I would have the wherewithal to say, look, I get it. LeBron is the GOAT. He's my dad. But I don't want that special treatment because it just puts a bigger target on my back. He needs to be a man and step up and say, look, he's already getting some breaks, but this is a break too far.
It would be better. He'd be better off on a different team's G-League squad, honestly, so he could develop away from his dad. We all knew this was orchestrated from the beginning. It was a cool moment when he took the court with his dad and all that. But again, the Lakers spent $7.9 million on his contract.
Danny,
let that sink in for a second. 4 years, almost $8 million guaranteed.
And how about this?
Fully guaranteed.
He sort of is a traveling circus because when he played, they were selling out.
Yeah.
So now
that's the only thing that helps his teammates there on the home floor for the G-League.
Yeah, but would it help more if he traveled with them? He'd be selling out in every city.
100%. But as much as his behavior is going to alienate teammates, I think the only upside for them is you have more eyes on you and your performance. That's true. More people are there.
In the performance world, rock star, athlete, even in our world, radio host, TV host, podcaster, whatever it is, the goal is you never want to seem elitist. There's no better compliment than, oh, he's like one of the guys. And Bronny is not like one of the guys. If he's not flying commercial, it's almost like, imagine if you sent all.
You mean he doesn't
your kids,
show up to the company Christmas party because he's too cool?
Yeah. Imagine if you went to a theme park with your kid and their friends, and it's like, oh, one of the friends, they don't wait in line, so their dad came and they got the park hopper. You'd be like, but all the kids are. They're hanging like listen. What was the big criticism of Russ when he was making his way in Denver? Remember he had his office. We've talked about this. Like you're not doing a good job of being one of the guys. And right now the Lakers sit at 6-4, right in the middle of the pack. Now if the Lakers were 10-1 and tearing it up, then man. LeBron sort of deserves it because it's like, yo, take care of my son. Look what I'm doing.
Well, then
but when you're like middle of the pack, it's like I said, it's like when the hot girls' looks fade, you put up with a little less. The Lakers are good. They're not take care of my son good.
Then when are exceptions okay, a la Rocket, Roger Clemens, and things like that?
I don't know. When you have the most Cy Youngs out of anyone and people are just lucky to have you?
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying there are exceptions to the rule. Is he the exception? Well, I don't want to be unfair to the kid because he is LeBron's son. And maybe he has earned in some weird way some different sort of treatment. But we have to keep in mind this. It's a team game. That's what
he's also going to be treated differently than other G Leaguers in public and stuff like that.
Right. And he brings more value. There is a different caliber of attention that he warrants and he gets because of who he is.
And he had a crazy good comeback story, almost dying on the court.
Exactly. So, I'm not trying to take anything away from him or be unfair, but it is the story today. So, I will say
I almost died.
That it is a team game. And when you're playing with a team, you have to be respectful of the other teammates. If it was a fighter, Rich, or he was playing a solo game like that, tennis or something, then whatever. But this is a team game.
Spotty, if your dad was Larry Bird, you'd get preferential treatment.
That is true.
It's true. Your dad is Larry Bird. Never knew that, did you?
Papa? Yes.
Dad?
All right, let's go to the phones. Who do we got, Danny G?
Let's start with Bill in South Dakota.
Hey, Bill. Bronny James not traveling with the team. What do you think?
Well, I think that maybe the Lakers don't really want to see him much on the road, or they've already made their decision on him.
I just think he's too much of a sideshow. And again, traveling commercial. I know that sounds ridiculous because most of us have only flown that way, including myself. But Bronny James is not sitting, like I said, in row 31B middle seat. Like that's not the life he lives, and he's too popular to sit with an unknown G League player. And so you got to understand that part of it. But you're creating distance between the other teammates when you get that treatment.
Yeah, when it's a game of chemistry, I feel like that interferes. If he's not a fighter or something. All right, who else do we got?
Steve in Ohio.
Hey, Steve, make it snappy. What's up?
Hey, man, maybe Bronny, it's not that he's too good for the rest of the team. Maybe it has something to do with security. Like, when he's on an airplane, they need special guards and bodyguards and things like that for him to walk through the airport.
Hey, that's super fair, but then why doesn't somebody just come out and say that? Because we're not the only ones speculating.
But I think the Lakers could afford to spend on that if they needed to. They're giving the kid $8 million.
That's true, too, yeah.
Guys, it's like one of my pet peeves when people say dumb things like, Taylor Swift, her private jet emissions and this and that. I'm like, yeah, we get that. But you think Taylor Swift should fly like JetBlue flight, whatever you're on?
No, absolutely not.
That would be chaos. It would be hectic. So there are exceptions. But is it a distraction? Is LeBron good enough? And is this Lakers team good enough to roll out the red carpet for Bronny? Again, like I said, if this was a 9-0 Patriots team and you were doing a favor for Mahomes' kid or something, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different story.
And look, we all want to make our paths easier for our kids. In reality, that's all LeBron is doing for his. It's just on a bigger platform, bigger scale. So, should he be ridiculed for that?